Hey there, creepy peeps. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome back. If you are returning, we gotta go over all the stuff I watched. Yeah, I didn't do a monthly wrap up last month because I feel like I didn't watch a lot. I watched a good number of stuff. Not by last month, I mean May. But as you know, I kind of had like a moment at the end of the month there leading into June where I like just didn't post anything because it's just like zero motivation because of everything going on. So we're gonna play a little bit of catch up, and I'm gonna try and quickly go over everything I watched in May and June. So I might be moving kind of fast, probably skip over some stuff that you guys know that I love, and there's no point in me talking about it at length. So yeah, let's go. Let's just start. So May 1st, watched Antrim. I did a video on that. I'll link it up at the top. Supposedly cursed video. I gave it a 1.5. I also watched Tigers Are Not Afraid. I think I watched this for Azul's movie challenge, which I am now extremely far behind on. But I really liked it. I really liked Tigers Are Not Afraid. I don't know if that's 100% a horror movie. Definitely dark though. I also watched The Brood, also for Azul's movie challenge. I think Phenomena I watched for Azul's movie challenge as well, rewatched. The Brood, this was the first time I had seen it. Cronenberg, okay. Yeah, it was definitely creepy. You know, a good body horror moment in there. If you've seen the movie, you probably know what part I'm talking about. That's definitely seared into my brain. Glad I finally saw it though. Rewatched Phenomena for Azul's movie challenge. I quite like that movie actually. You know, as somebody who is generally scared of bugs, you wouldn't think I like a movie that's about a girl who can control bugs, but you know what? I kind of like it. Just skipping over them real fast. I watched Queen of the Damned and House of Wax. You guys know I love those movies, so we don't need to explain that. I watched Behind You, which I did a review on. Didn't like it very much. I watched Ghost Story, finally, for Azul's movie challenge. The book by Peter Straub. We did for Creepy Book Club, and yeah, this is the first time I've seen the movie adaptation for it, so it was pretty good. I think the book was better, but I think that most of the time anyway, so. Then I watched The Gift. That was with my patrons for a movie night. First time I had seen that, and it was definitely a roller coaster ride. I don't know if necessarily it's the best movie to watch as a group because it's kind of serious, but I feel like watching it as a group made it kind of fun. So not that it's a bad movie. I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. Then I watched Porno from Fangoria, which I did do a review on. I did. Battle Royale, I might have just rewatched that because I felt like it. I love that movie. Don't need to explain that one. Underworld, it was on Netflix. Haven't seen Underworld in a hot minute, and oh my god, me and my best friend Cassie used to love those movies so much. I say used to. I still really like the movie. It's just fun. But every time a new one came out in theaters, we would go see it. We just thought Kate Beckinsale was badass. I don't know. And then I watched Baxter and White Dog, which was for Does This Offend You? Not this past month, but the one before. I'll link the Does This Offend You playlist up here if you want to catch up with any past episodes. Then I watched The Cleanse, which was also for a movie night with my patrons. I think Mike from Rotted Reviews suggested we watch that, and that was a movie. Another one that I think the viewing is definitely made a little bit different in a group setting, but not necessarily in a bad way. Then From Dusk Till Dawn. I think one of my patrons, B, was just like chilling and having her own movie night, like super casual like, and that's what she was watching, so I hopped in because it's been a minute since I've seen From Dusk Till Dawn, and I really like that movie. And then of course I watched both adaptations of Flowers in the Attic because that was a creepy book club pick, which, man, I've been getting a lot of new comments recently for that video, and I gotta say, people are really mad that I was somehow like shocked and shook by like the rape incest. I didn't know I was supposed to, like, you know, not blink an eye at that. And then I watched The Green Inferno also for a movie night. For whatever reason in May, I let my patrons convince me to do like extra movie nights, which I'll get into in a second here. You'll see a string of movies all on the same day. But we just had extra movie nights in May. I don't know. So we watched The Green Inferno, which I've never watched in a group setting before, and it is so much more fun in a group setting, I will say. Then I watched Scare Me, which was requested of me by one of my patrons, Raiders, aka Felix. It was okay. I didn't hate it. So I think for me and Felix, who it's become like a joke with us at this point that we always disagree on stuff, I would say I'm like middle, like this is like a middle point for us. Like I didn't hate it. But for it being like as indie, like and low budget of a movie that it really wasn't bad. It was a anthology kind of. Like the setting is these people are sitting around a campfire and telling each other scary stories, and then they find out they're part of a scary story, kind of, if that makes sense. So it kind of works in anthology style because you get all these little like shorts within the movie as somebody is telling a story, which I think was really cool. I like the campfire, like telling stories around a campfire setting, and they did a lot of really clever stuff with the shorts. Like there were a lot of like little things, like maybe like a book that got mentioned in one short and you see that book on a bookshelf in another one, if that makes sense. Like they did a lot of like, there was a lot of thought put into the stories. I think it lost me a little bit by the end when they were like concluding the story, like the story that the storytellers find themselves in. That maybe doesn't make any sense if you haven't seen the movie, but kind of lost me at the end. And some of the, I'd say some of the sound effects were a little bit weird. There were moments where like maybe somebody was getting their head bashed in and the sound that they used to like emphasize that didn't really match up, and that probably sounds weird. Like it didn't sound realistic when somebody was getting their head bashed in, but you know what I mean. There was a few little things like that, but like for an indie low budget movie, it's got a lot of potential, seriously. I'm very interested to see what they do next. Then another one requested by my patron, B, Aftershock, and she premised it with that she watched it and hated it, and now I have to suffer through it, which is why she asked me to watch it. You know, you gotta love when somebody sells you a movie like that. I hated this. You watch it now too, so you can suffer through it. So this is one, it has Eli Roth in it and a few familiar faces from Green Inferno actually. But it is directed by, it's not Eli Roth, but Nicolas Lopez. It's kind of more of like an action movie, like disaster movie with the kind of gore gags that you would expect to see in a movie that has Eli Roth any way, shape, form involved in it. So like I said, it's kind of like a disaster movie. So an earthquake hits in this like very small like town in Chile, and yeah, so it's like this group of people just trying to survive. It's a little, could have been just a like a silly kind of disaster movie with a lot of gore gags, but then they add in some really dark stuff in there, like rape, which I'm gonna be honest with you, for it being a silly movie up until that point, I'm not really sure why that had to be in there. Just saying. So it was weird. The tone of the movie was, it's almost like it didn't even know what it wanted. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk, like just really quick, I watched 13th I actually watched that first. I don't know why it got logged weird like this in Letterboxd. It really should be it really should be 13th and then The Craft. I sometimes find it weird to rate documentaries, but I loved it. I think it's a really good documentary. You should definitely watch it. It is on Netflix. I think it's a Netflix original. I was gonna see if maybe it said it on there. I think it's a Netflix original. So you ideally should be able to watch it everywhere, question mark. Really good, highly recommend. Not horror related at all, more like realistic horror, so you know, just be forewarned. So The Craft, Urban Legends 2 Final Cut, Scream 4, House on Haunted Hill, Drag Me to Hell, and Ready or Not were all watched in the same night. I know it's like technically the last two are on the 7th because it bled into like, you know, past midnight, so you know that was technically July 7th or June 7th, sorry. So I reached a certain goal on Patreon, and which, by the way, the link is in the description if you want to check it out. So we reached a goal on Patreon, and I had set like the reward for this goal, like when we reach this goal, we'll have like a patron only like sleepover, like movie night marathon. So this was, I think we ended up like hanging out for like 11 hours or something like that, or very close to 12 hours. We watched 6 movies and it was super fun. We were mostly all super delirious by the end of it, and those were the movies we watched. Again, The Craft, Urban Legends 2, Scream, House on Haunted Hill, Drag Me to Hell, and Ready or Not. So as you can tell, there's kind of a little bit of a theme of like more like comedic horror movies. We didn't want to watch anything too serious to kind of like bring down the mood, and because we'd all be staying up really late too. So but that was super fun. I made it part of like the reward or whatever, or part of the celebration for my next Patreon goal, because everybody loved it so much. So yeah, just putting that out there. And then there's something missing in here. I'll get to it in a second. Then I rewatched The Meg because I saw it was on. I think I got an HBO subscription on Prime. I did like the free trial for something. I can't remember what I wanted to watch on there. But while I had the free trial, I was watching a couple of movies on the HBO channel on Prime, and The Meg was on there, so I figured I'd rewatch that because I haven't seen it since when I saw it in theaters, and I still liked it. I thought it was like for what it is, just like a silly kind of shark attack movie, a little bit campy. We're fine with that. They lean into it in the movie. The actors and everybody definitely lean into it, which makes it fun. And then I rewatched Twister, probably because it was super rainy that day, and for whatever reason I just like to scare myself further. If it's like super stormy and thunder and lightning, I'll watch Twister. That movie scares the fuck out of me, still does. Then I watched, or rewatched rather, Life Force, which was requested of me by one of my patrons, Ephraim. Still quite liked it. A 3 out of 5, not bad. Don't hate it. Definitely unique. I really like the, I don't know, I guess we could call them like creature effects of like the bodies that are like sucked dry, like literally to the point where it's just like bones essentially. I really like the way they look. Honestly, it kind of freaks me out a little bit, and I feel like it's one of those movies, if I had seen it when I was younger, those things would have scared the shit out of me. Oh, and then I watched Warning, Do Not Play, which is a South Korean horror movie that was on Shudder. It was okay. It was okay for what it was. I did a review on it, so you can go watch my full thoughts on there if you want. In between there should be It Chapter 2. I watched that on the HBO channel as well. I don't know why I didn't log it, because I hadn't seen that either since I saw it in theaters. I can't remember what I rated it when I first saw it. I definitely didn't like it as much as chapter 1. I remember that. And that still stands. It was a lot easier to get distracted and kind of just look at my phone when I got bored in chapter 2 because I was watching it, you know, just in my room. Because just way too heavy on the flashbacks with the kids and kind of scary CGI on Finn Wolfhard to make him look younger. Not quite as scary as Breaking Dawn Part 2, which we'll get to in a second if you're wondering why the fuck that's on there. But then I'm missing Hard Candy too. God, what is wrong with me? I don't know why I didn't log that. I watched Knock Knock and Hard Candy, which should be on there right after Knock Knock, for Does This Offend You? Again, the playlist would have been linked up in the cards a while ago if you want to catch up on that. We did that for a Does This Offend You episode. I don't really know what to call our theme, but it was fun. I just logged Knock Knock that I watched it. I still don't know what I would rate it, to be honest. I said that during the stream that like I don't really know if I liked it or not. So I still really don't have a rating. I think I'm gonna have to rewatch it again to like definitively decide at this point. So we got Twilight and Breaking Dawn Part 2. So we kind of have, it's not really like a rule on my Patreon page, it's just kind of a thing that we do, because we have 2 movie nights a month, and sometimes I don't want to decide what movie we want to watch, or nobody really has any idea what we want to watch, so I always put it up to people if it's like their birthday month, if they want to pick a movie that we all have to watch. That's what we'll do. It takes all the decision making out of it, which I love. Which at the end of June, it's my birthday, so I was like, I get to pick. And I made a joke when I was asked, like, do you know what we're gonna watch for your birthday? And I made a joke that we were gonna watch all 5 Twilight movies, which I was kidding, but then everybody was kind of like, that would be funny, we should do that. As you can see, we didn't watch all 5 of them. We watched the first one, which is... And then we basically just decided to skip to the end. So for all the people that hadn't seen the rest of the movie series, I showed them the trailer for Breaking Dawn Part 1, and then we just watched Breaking Dawn Part 2. Mostly because I wanted everybody to see that really scary CGI baby. Like, CGI Renesmee is the scariest thing. 10 out of 10 will give you nightmares. It's so freaky. I don't know who made that decision. It's awful. So basically I just really wanted everybody to see that. So instead of watching New Moon, which is just a downer, and I think out of the entire series, the most problematic one, and that's saying a lot. We decided just to have some fun and watch Breaking Dawn for scary CGI Renesmee and that really hilarious Michael Sheen laugh, like kind of towards the end. So I feel like I talked way too long about Twilight. Okay, we're gonna stop. Then I watched Metamorphosis, which I did a review on. It's on Shudder, so yeah, you can check out that review if you want. And as you can see, I watched Hamilton, but that's in July, so. Okay, so that's everything I watched in May and June. Hopefully this didn't end up too long. I was trying to get through them quickly. Now we're all caught up. So if you made it to the end of this video, thank you. This is probably super long and really rambly, but now we're all caught up, so it's good. The next one won't be as bad. Really quick, I just want to thank my creepy patron peeps, not only for their support of my channel, but for requesting those movies of me to watch. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out. If you didn't like it, that's okay. If you're new here or if you've been lurking, subscribe. Become a creepy peep today. I post videos 2 times a week. Thank you for listening to me talk for so long. I'll talk to you very, very soon. Until then, stay strange. Bye.